Yo, Fluffs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you could make it. Yeah, it's good to see you all. I was supposed to have a debate earlier, but Modern Day Debates couldn't host it anymore because they had some issues and whatever. So it's moved to next weekend, but it will still happen. Good to see you guys. We've got Peter in, Dave from Thomasville, Roger, and Ryan. How you guys doing?
Good to see you.
Beautiful.
Good. All good. All good.
Glad to have you guys in. Glad to have everybody in the YouTube lands, in the Twitch, in the TikTok, and on Kicked. Glad to have you all streaming to quite a few platforms tonight, actually. So it's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it.
You're streaming on Kick.
Yeah, I'm streaming everywhere.
We do a load of mad things, Flats. You can take off and Kick. So if you go out and do a few mad pranks, you'll be a millionaire, dude. Here we go. One Kick just like that.
Hey, you can send people to Antarctica too.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you, Roger, for your 2 super chats already. He sent it before the stream even started. Let's quickly see if I can get them. Why? It's so irritating that YouTube moved everything like to the sides and stuff. It's like, weird. Anyway, thank you, Roger, for $5 super chat. He says definitions of the word is there for you reasons. Exactly. But the Globies don't like definitions. That's the issue. They only like it when it suits them.
That's right.
And tell them to rewrite the English language right quick.
And then he says, "Can't you see that?" Another $2 super chat. Why did you say that? I don't know.
Oh, you ever watch P-Brain? He did a clip of Bob going,
Yeah.
"Can't you see that? Can't you see that? Can't you see that?"
Now I get it.
Yeah.
But it's good to see everybody. Thank you for coming. The votes so far, I was really weird to see a lot of people said no. But it looks like it's gone up now to yes. The Bible does not and never will describe a globe. Yes, and
maybe they misunderstood the question.
12%. So 12% of the people think the Bible describes a globe, guys.
Okay.
Huh. That's
Wow.
I find that really
I've
weird.
never read that before.
I would like them to bring scripture up for that.
We'll be waiting a long time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Guys, I don't know if we're going to do a full 2-hour stream tonight. We'll see how it goes. I've had quite a hectic weekend. I don't know if you guys saw we went to the rally yesterday.
Nice.
I've been having a bit of a sinus.
That was fun.
But it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was good. Definitely well worth it.
Nice.
It's nice to do something different sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't have rallies over here, though. The only races I've been to is NASCAR.
Oh, yeah, you guys just turn right
Well,
or left.
Yep.
They have rallies. You don't see
Just
them on
turn left, Joe.
TV. That's all.
Well, we've got dwarf wrestling coming next weekend, and me and Mike from the Truthers Hour Comedy are going to be going to that this next weekend, and it's going to be, I guess, from what the description of it this year, that it's going to be midgets versus dwarfs. So a lot of people don't know there's a difference.
Maybe you should explain the difference. Yeah.
Okay, so a dwarf is got like a regular torso, regular head. Their limbs are stunted. Okay, it's basically that their limbs are stunted, kind of like a dachshund. I mean, I'm not saying they're dachshunds, but you know what I'm saying. It's like that same type of thing. A dachshund's a regular sized dog with really short legs. Same thing with dwarfism, but it's interesting because they do carry the same type of characteristics. They almost look familial, like they're in the same family, kind of like what Down syndrome is too.
Yeah.
Now, a midget is just a person that never grew. They're just a really, really small person, like Tom Thumb. So that's a little bit different. I don't think I think in the case of dwarves, they don't really have very good longevity. There's something about it. I'm not really sure why, but from what I understand, there's not a lot of longevity in it.
I think for a while,
Yeah, I heard it has to do with bone problems and things like that.
Yeah.
I think for a while, dwarf became on PC for a while, didn't it? For a while, people were saying POG, meaning person of restricted growth. I think POG sounds more insulting.
It does.
There's
Yeah.
Is that what POG means? Oh man.
POG.
Now I had there were two sisters in my class in junior high and high school. They were fraternal twins. In other words, the egg didn't split; it was two eggs got fertilized.
I got you.
One girl was a dwarf, another girl was a twin.
Ah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Mm.
I know maternal twins. That's all I know. So.
Well,
Okay,
there's paternal, and then there's identical. Identical is when the egg splits into two embryos, and the fraternal is when two separate eggs get fertilized.
Yeah.
I used to work for a guy. His two sons were fraternal twins, and one was tall, lanky, and blonde haired, just like the mom, and the other one was kind of short, stocky, and dark haired, like the dad.
Mhm.
It was like.
are you sure the one wasn't just? Are you sure the one just wasn't swapped in the hospital?
It can happen. Hey, how'd I get a black baby?
Or maybe they just dropped on their head.
I watched the most ridiculous thing. I think it was like last week or week before. The wife was suing the man, okay, for claiming he had an adulterous relationship with a black woman because she had a black baby.
Wow.
Say what?
So he slept with the black woman because she had a black baby.
That caused her
Oh,
to have
I
a black
see.
baby.
That makes that. Okay, I thought you were trying to connect this. I was like, wow.
If
She
you
got
think
that
things are
mixed up
ridiculous, it's like, wow.
She got that mixed up about gametes. It's what it was going on there because, like for instance, like if a Caucasian woman has babies with a black guy, and then later on has babies with a white guy, those white kids will still have black features. And it's
Mhm.
due to a thing about gametes
Yes,
that the mother
a
retains.
woman carries the genes and the DNA from every man she's ever slept with. Yes.
But I have seen it before that a man and a woman have twins, and the one baby comes out black, the one baby comes out white.
Yeah.
I've seen those things. It's
That would
happened
be
before.
strange, but
It's actually quite rare, but it does happen.
I didn't know that.
it'd still be my kid, so I guess it wouldn't matter to me. But
Of course not.
Okay, but anyway, I think let's get on with the stream. Last time we stopped about, I think it was about 11 minutes. I know Joe wanted to come in as well, but he's having issues coming in. I don't know where it is now. Good to see Vicky's doing a lot better. Guys, please smash the likes and share the show. You guys rock. And Spuddy wants to buy a hoodie. Awesome, Spuddy. I'd love you to buy a hoodie. Just know I am in the process of doing new designs for new merch, so you might make me want to watch.
does your merch say Flatsway's perspective, or what does it say on it? I'm just curious.
They say different things like the earth
Oh,
is
so you
flat
designed a bunch of different ones? Okay.
and
All right. I'll have to go take a
TikTok.
Yeah, it doesn't just say flat sweat. I don't really have flat sweat on there. I have things like the earth is flat and then impossible, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Maybe you should get one with just Flatsway's perspective on it. Because I'd wear one. I mean, I'd buy one just so that, because everybody's always asking me, what show are you on? I always forget. And I was going, I need a t-shirt to keep you guys remember.
I think I do have one that says flat sweat, but I'm not sure. Can't remember. It's been such a while. But yeah, I'm working on a new merch line, so looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody that did buy merch, by the way. Really appreciate all the support. You guys rock. Okay, let's see what we can do with what this guy's going to talk about now. Just hope he brings up some scripture.
Aye.
Now, if you're watching the video version of this, I didn't have a picture of Cosmos, so this is just one of his maps I've put up on the screen. I'm guessing that before today, most of you have never even heard guys. Do you know why? It's because they were essentially theological nobodies. Nobody believed what they said on a massive range of subjects. They were not influential.
We spoke about this part last time. Then how did he know about them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, they were quite well known.
Yeah,
Cosmos a bit
some guy
less.
has 80 subs,
Uh,
but he's talking about you, right?
the Cosmos is a bit less than Lactantis, but they were at least known. He's just trying to make it sound like, oh shit, these guys believed in flat Earth and they were like the laughing stock. Nah, not true. Let's see if he starts bringing up actual scripture to support his claims. That's what we actually want to see, because he is a pastor, and that means the authority should be biblical. He hasn't shown any biblical authority whatsoever halfway through his whole video.
Well, I'm not going to hold my breath, guys.
But now listen
Well,
to
you
what
know,
Mr. White
dresses
said.
nice.
He wrote about the church and a flat earth. And he writes, some of the foremost men in the church devoted themselves to buttressing the model with new texts and throwing about it new outworks of theological reasoning. The great body of the faithful considered it a direct gift from the Almighty.
What's up?
Hi, Jura.
Okay.
We brought you here.
I'm sorry. The foremost men of the church? Not even close. Lactantius and Cosmos were anything but. Let me read you something about Lactantius by a professor of history named Jeffrey Russell, who said,
Again, we're still trying to find out why is he actually bringing up people from medieval times, where he's trying to argue that no one in history with a biblical worldview ever saw the earth as flat. Yet that's what the Bible describes the earth as, flat. Medieval times came long, long after the Bible was written and compiled together.
Yep. A good while after.
Well, we're not even really sure medieval times existed, are we? I mean,
True.
Yeah, I have to wonder. There's
it could have been just a storyline for all we know. I mean, come on.
Could have been.
you know, it's so crazy because we went, into this fall of Rome, okay, supposedly over a period of 100 years. It doesn't look like that. I mean, when you see these ruins, it looks like there was some kind of destruction that took place with them, not so much that it just fell into disrepair. You see, like the city of Luxor, they found it buried in 40 feet of sand. What happened? Everybody just forgot to sweep? How do you lose an entire freaking city, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this stuff and the
Hmm.
timeline doesn't work out. And then we went into right after the Roman Empire fell. Then there came about this thing. It was called the worst day in history. You can look this thing up. Supposedly there were several volcanoes going off on Earth, blocked out the sun for a number of weeks, killed off all the plant life. They had this problem with now pestilence and famine. I mean, it sounds just like the tribulation, man. It really does. But and then all of a sudden, we go into this area, the Dark Ages. Oh, we're in the Dark Ages. Nothing happens for like 1,000 years. And then all of a sudden, boom, we're in the Renaissance. And we're producing works of art and architecture never before seen anywhere. And it's just this wealth of knowledge and information and everything's going on all over the place. I mean, there's just the story does not add up. And I think they've inserted these little stories and periods to cover that missing time that we don't have.
What's up, Nate?
Hello.
How's it going?
Flat.
Going flat.
I've just been listening, and yeah, Sovereign is 100% right about that. And even stuff like abstract art and such is, even if it's some stuff isn't necessarily lied about, they even put stuff in like abstract art to actually physiologically change what we think about art.
Yeah.
Well, they can tell a Da Vinci by the paint strokes, supposedly, right? And they still can't figure out to this day how he made his paint so thin yet covering. And I came to this idea. I'm like, no, those were touched up with oil paint. I believe those were actually using photo obscura on a chemically treated canvas to produce the image and then touched up with paint.
Ah.
That they were using photography. but they can't let us know that they had photography, but we know that they had photo obscura. And artists use it all the time to even have somebody pose so that it would show up on a canvas, and this is what we're told, and then they draw it on the canvas and everything. I don't think that was the case. I think
No,
that
man, they just did it like the Flintstones, where they had a
Yeah.
woodpecker inside a box, and he's chipping
yeah,
away
yeah,
at
it
the rock.
was a little
Chiseling out of stone.
Wasn't it an Arab guy that actually developed it the first time? He made a hole in the wall, and then he put a screen up, and then he was able to project what was outside upside down on the wall. And then, I mean, it wasn't, and I don't know when that was done, but I think it was like 14 some, wasn't it? Well, that would say that then obviously photography started then. They could have been doing oil paintings since then, right? He could have been using that same idea and then just painting over it, onto the canvas with the reflection. Now, that would have made it easy to make everything look perfect, right?
I recently saw a movie and I was like, holy crap, I can't believe they showed that. And it was a king or something. And then, of course, they had his robe and everything like on a frame, and he was just to stand there in it. And it showed this artist doing the picture, but he was painting it upside down because it was coming through a photo obscura.
There you go.
And I'm like, no, they didn't even have to trace it. These alchemists knew what was up with chemistry and shit. I know they knew how to make photo sensitive.
Well, yeah, I don't doubt that, but I'm just saying for those people that don't believe that, at least look at it this way. They could have been painting onto that image, right? I mean, you can do that with a piece of polished silver, right? And a little tube, right? You have one of those things that you can put on a stand, and you look through it with one eye, and with one eye you can see the picture in one eye, and you can see the page in the other. And if you use the two together, you get used to it. You can actually paint almost and draw perfectly a copy of something.
Huh.
I forget what
I've
it's
never seen
called.
one
I'm
of those.
sorry. I should.
Well, they used.
I don't have a stand for it, but I should go get it.
They initially used silver to paint it onto a piece of glass, and then take the photograph.
Exactly.
It was a chemical made with silver, and that would actually etch the image. They called them a daguerreotype. I think that was the type of photograph.
I thought tintype thing was some kind of the first one, but I'm not sure though.
Yeah, am I reading the title of that book right? Inventing the Flat Earth.
Yeah,
Columbus and Monastery
Okay.
by Jeffrey Burton Russell.
Huh.
Forward by David Noble.
Okay.
When was this book written? Way later. It's amazing that this is what you guys would call cherry picking, when they take books and stuff written by somebody, and it doesn't even matter if the person's right or wrong, as long as it's making a point what they wanted to say, therefore, okay, this guy's authority.
It's like those truthers that go for the very, very obscure book that for some reason quotes like a fake quote from Trump that says, "We will destroy humans" or something like that. It's really weird how they cherry pick this stuff.
So you're saying, you can put I've just put your link in for your YouTube because I've seen you holding it up there. You can put it in. You got a spanner.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna put it in later. I was just
Yeah, just put it in periodically through the chat. I would.
All right. Thank you.
It says Russell received his undergrad degree from University of California, Berkeley in 1955, and his PhD in history from Emory University in 1960. So he's quite a recent dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's no robot. No.
Library of Congress lists 18 books written by Russell. His 18 books are Medieval Civilization, Descent and Reform in the Early Middle Ages, History of Medieval Christianity, Prophecy and Order, Religious Descent in the Middle Ages, Witchcraft in the Middle Ages, The Devil, Perceptions of Evil from Antiquity and Primitive Christianity. Primitive Christianity.
That's
a joke. Okay.
What's going on?
History of witchcraft, sorcerers, heretics, and pagans, medieval heresies and bibliography, Satan, the early Christian tradition, Lucifer, the devil in the Middle Ages, Mephistopheles, the devil in the modern world. The Prince of Darkness, inventing the flat Earth. Let's go there. That was written in 1991, guys. Let's actually share this tab. So this book was written in 1991.
What?
And
Toshiro, that is really insulting to some people, dude. Just chill with that. You know what I mean? Saying it's just as made up as the globe. Jesus is just as made up as the globe. Come
Jesus is real. Toshiro, we've been through this before. There's actual documentation of this. And the fact that you think what Jaron says about this means anything to us is a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much as I do like Jaron and appreciate stuff that he does when it comes to Christianity, he's very ignorant to the subject. And I still want to make that video on that opening these arguments he brought to that other Christian guy, because they were wrong. His arguments were wrong. But yeah, it's good to see everybody. Please hit the likes, share the show. Woohoo. Okay, so yeah, he wrote the book in 1991. Okay, Inventing Flat Earth. Has anybody actually read this book so would actually know what he claimed?
Probably
No
find
idea.
a PDF, but that's it. Yeah, no. I don't think anyone here has read it.
Yeah, he says this article is about the misconception that medieval scholars believed in the flat Earth. For actual flat Earth cosmologies, see flat Earth. So his argument is medieval scholars didn't believe in flat Earth. Who gives a shit what medieval believed? We care what the Bible says.
No, they
What
believe in
people
sea
later
dragons
on-
too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same as saying people today, consensus, most of the people say it's not flat. So therefore you're saying it's not flat then, because consensus.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That doesn't make the flat Earth fake.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
the
think we got a
medieval
good
times
case.
the medieval times was actually when they started pushing the globe everywhere. That was the issue. And yes, there were a lot of flat earthers still in medieval times. Even the artworks and stuff still show that. So it's odd that the guys are specifically trying to go to medieval times constantly. I mean, Aidan Mattis tried the same thing, the Law Lodge. He tried the same trick. Oh, medieval, They showed they didn't believe in flat earth. Yet we brought how much artwork showing flat earthers
You know.
and flat earth art. It's like, really. Joe even gave us that link last time with all the different medieval scholars who believed the earth was still flat. Totally going against what these guys are saying.
I agree.
But yeah, really, really weird.
Eventually led to his works being condemned as heretical after his death. Now, Lactantius died in AD 325, which you'll note is a very long time ago. He continues. He maintained, for example,
Toshido says, none of us will have the balls to debate Jaron on. Oh, dude, Jaron won't even be in the same ballpark when it comes to Christianity, mate. I'm sorry, Jaron, I'm saying this straight out. Jaron doesn't understand what the Bible says about Scripture. He doesn't.
No.
It's plain as. And why are you trying to now come and cause strife between us when we're literally on this subject? Jaron's got nothing to do with what we're talking about here.
No shit.
So yeah, cool.
People like a drama.
Yeah.
that God
There's a
wills
lot of
evil
queens.
as a logical necessity, and that Christ and Satan are metaphorical twins, two angels, two spirits, one good and one evil, both created by God. In other words, Lactantius was a heretic. So it seems a little weird that Draper and White would insist that he was some kind of foremost thought leader in the early church. He wasn't.
Yeah. The early church was not medieval times, you dickweed.
Like 1700 years after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. Why? And this is exactly what Law Lodge did as well. They're making medieval times as the early church.
Because they think of the institution as the church, as the actual starting of the church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. It's the wrong thing to take it on. The church was formed after Jesus died. That was when the church started. When the disciples started, the apostles started going out and preaching the word after Jesus died. That was the church. How do you think Paul wrote to the Corinthians? There were churches already. Come on.
If the earth wasn't flat, Peter Pan, what would the Bible mean to you? The same as what it means now. But the earth happens to be flat, and the Bible happens to say so. It would mean the same as it does anytime. It doesn't make a difference if the earth wasn't flat. The Bible would still mean the same thing to me.
Yeah.
How did you get the sun? You got the patent. Okay. Cool. So I've just got the patent up for us of that sun thing. Thank you very much, Solve.
Right on.
Woo-hoo.
I think I got more
I'm going
too.
to put in the link for everybody as well. Whoever's looking for it.
What's
There
that?
you go, Roger.
What?
That's for the fake sun.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Patent for the fake sun that Dave
Yeah, I
was
got
talking
that.
about. Dave Weiss was talking about earlier.
Here's
Oh, yeah.
here's another one too.
Operation Pegasus.
Ooh.
oh yeah.
And I do actually think Dave's got a very good point with this, by the way. And I think it actually falls quite in line with the whole reason they're trying to push everybody to go in December to look at the 24-hour sun.
I wonder.
Because I don't know if you guys know this, like I was saying before the show started, Banjo, Flat Banjo, he was saying he's doing a stream soon where he's talking about why is there so much correlation between Will Duffy, there's a Brazilian guy as well, and William Shatner, and a few others. They all want to all of a sudden push the same observation, the same year, same time.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah, I
And
think
now
my son was on it like right off the bat, and a lot of us kind of dismissed it because of the thing of it, but it's looking like, with what you're saying too, all these people all at the same time, everything. Here's the patent for the thing, they have it. Here's another article discussing exactly what the thing is from the ESA, isn't it? Yeah, that's from the ESA.
You see.
So, yeah, I think that that's a great possibility. That's why I think that if they do this, we're going to also want to have people around the earth that are flat earthers actually tracking the sun hour by hour. And then that way what we can do is we can actually take their locations and draw a line straight out to where they saw it and where this guy saw it at that same time and where this guy saw it. And that should tell us the position. And if we see it, they seeing something that nobody else in the north of that is seeing, then that's going to be a problem.
it can backfire big time on them, though.
Yep.
Because then it's like, oh, but now there's two suns, which the globe can't have.
Right.
Yeah. With this fake sun, there's a few stuff like people thinking that the sun actually has changed over the years, that now it's like white, like it's more whiter, and it used to be golden instead. Like,
Yeah,
and then
Me
there's
too.
I've heard that, but I haven't seen a difference here where I am, though.
Yeah, I bet
I
you.
probably still have the right sun, guys. I still have the original.
Well, it does seem a lot whiter nowadays. When I was a kid, I remember it being more yellow and more, like you said, golden. And it does seem a bit whiter. Well, a lot whiter.
like a whiter hot, a bluish.
Yeah, how many BTUs does that thing put out?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I've said that this was probably 15 years ago. At
Mhm.
least 15 years
and then this
ago. I
phenomenon
can remember
of this,
saying, I'm like, the sun has changed.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not yellow like it was.
No.
And I remember because I lived right across the street from this really huge field of sunflowers,
Mm.
and I would go out there to look at them. And I'm like, man, the sun just doesn't seem like what I remember. And it
No.
would hit the reflection off of car windows and shit as the car traffic was going by. And I would look at it. It was like really harsh, not a glow like I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Younger people won't understand it because they've not seen it.
No, of course.
And then there's this phenomenon with lens flares. Before you play this, Flatoid, there's this phenomenon with lens flares where apparently when people take a picture of the fake sun, there's a lens flare.
There's a different type of
essentially.
lens flare, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a
Essentially,
the
black
octagonal,
there's a
shape to it.
black spot in the middle. There's like
Uh-huh.
a black spot in the middle, and I've seen photographs taken like that. And that's not a camera defect. It doesn't do that. It doesn't take a bright object and put a black spot right in the middle of it.
The
Well,
sun
why would you get
naturally
it? Why
has-
would you get a black spot if they even use film then?
There's something about it. I don't know, man. It's really
because
weird.
the sun is
I've
below
heard
your
people
feet.
I've heard people say it's too bright, your sensor can't pick it up or something, and I'm like, okay, but then someone tried to do it with a film camera. They put a filter and then use the film, and it did the same thing. It's like, so what now?
yeah.
So it's really weird. It's odd that they would have a patent for this if it wasn't possible. Let's put it that way,
Yeah.
and then actually have it made.
And you might want to remember that.
But of
this
course,
thing
what about
hangs
Mr.
in the
Cosmos, the
sky.
other flat earth Christian from the very ancient past? Well, you get the same story. People liked him at the time because he was eloquent. But you will search high and low for the medieval scholar who took him seriously. Both of these guys were theological nobodies. And wouldn't you know it, if you go back and read the real influencers of the early church, guys like Augustine or Aquinas, you will not find them talking about a flat earth. They said it was round. You know why? It's because the Christian church has always believed that.
That is such a false statement.
Yeah. And so is that, Peter Pan. You think about it, the source of flat earthers is the Bible. No, it's not. I mean, I believed the Bible before I believed flat earth.
There's plenty of flat earthers.
So it was nothing to do with the Bible that I became flat earth. It was flat earth that then realized it in the Bible.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, he's like I say, he's trying to equate now medieval believers to an early church, like we said, but that's not the early church. Yeah, you can say based on Roman Catholicism, that was the early church of Roman Catholicism, but it wasn't the church. The church was already established.
Yeah.
The church was established a long, long time ago.
I mean,
Before that.
even
It was
even-
just persecuted. It was just persecuted. That's all.
even before the Middle Ages, we would actually have orthodoxy would even be a different sect. We would have different sects, which is weird. It's like
Mhm.
I don't really know if it's one united church even in this time. So
No, it's still quite separated, you could say, because everybody's got their different beliefs based on the scriptures and stuff. But at least the one thing that everybody does have in common is we all agree that Jesus did come and die for our sins, and we need him to bridge that gap between us with God. So everybody does understand that, at least. And that's the most important thing, actually. Roger Lidwell, thank you for your $2. Said Peter picked the wrong pick. And thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Super man. You rock.
I saw that. What happened? Did the debate get like delayed or something?
Ryan was supposed to moderate for us, but he couldn't do it anymore because his father hurt his foot or something. So he had to go in and stand in for him to build a shed for the wood that had to come in or something like that. I don't know. So he asked, would we be able to move to a different time? And I said, yeah, it's not going to work for me today because I'm busy. And I can't do it too late. So we moved it to next weekend the same time, which is fine. It really doesn't bother me though.
I honestly, I was waiting for you to start the stream. I fell asleep because I have no care for this. This video was like, it was when we first reacted to it or saw it. It was like, ugh, this guy's so. Ugh.
No, but like I said, we have to finish it at least. We have to try.
Yeah.
Because it was between this one or what's it, Planet Peterson's video that I wanted to do. And I'm like, let's just first finish this one, then I can do Planet Peterson. Because if you think this is cringy. Yeah, Planet Peterson, people are going to be like smacking tables and stuff probably with how stupid that stuff said. I mean, the guy even has a very cynical laugh in that video when a guy's saying yes, God's real. It's like quite bad.
Yeah.
But just in case you're not convinced, let me read you just a little bit more, this time from the work of Alan Chapman, a historian in Oxford. This comes from his book, Slaying the Dragons. He says, "Let us be clear about one thing. No medieval scholar of any worth thought that the earth was flat. One needs only to read the astronomical literature of the Middle Ages to realize that the spherical nature of the earth, about 6,000 or 8,000 miles across, was standard knowledge and taught to university students from Salamanca to Prague.
University students in
I feel like
medieval
this is-
times. The universities in medieval times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Well,
What?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I dare say that it would be some kind of education of some sort. Further education.
Medieval universities. Let's see. University of Bologna. It was founded in 1088. That's quite cool.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, because you used to see, it's only movies, but you used to see movies of like surgeons back in the 1700s who had students. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, yeah, like
that makes sense.
like
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
I learned something new.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, because I saw Oxford on there. It probably makes sense. Like the earliest, what is it? The early. I'm blanking here. What's the word? Universities. Earliest universities would be the most like what we see as pristine today, essentially.
Because I do know that there were old universities. I didn't think they went back to medieval times, though.
What was that one? 1066 was it?
Yeah. So it's quite
Same
old,
as the Battle of Hastings. Same year as the Battle of Hastings.
So it's quite cool.
Dragons and
I learned something new. I just want
Allegedly.
to see if I can get that link quickly that Joe sent us with all the different medieval scholars and stuff that did show it to be flat, that believed it to be flat. If I can find it now. I thought I saved it as a bookmark. Obviously, I didn't.
Oh yeah. What? It was the earliest cosmologies one.
Yeah, there was a book and the other. I'm just looking through my history quickly.
I wanted to do that one.
The earliest cosmologies, Eunice. I think it's this one. No, that's the book. Earliest cosmologies. But this earliest cosmology book, anyway, guys, it shows that this guy doesn't understand. Look at this, the Babylonian universe.
Yeah. Well, Demetrius' universities are a Hellenistic institution, so Greek.
And the Greeks were the one pushing the globe.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the universe as pictured as thought by ancient Hebrews, Babylonians, Egyptians, Greeks, Iranians, and Indo-Aryans.
Yeah, I think for some reason globies don't understand that the Greeks, they did present the globe, but no one really bought it. It didn't go outside of their area. It's like,
Greek was also flat Earth, guys. It was a small sect in the Greek belief system of the globe, and eventually it spread out, and that's how the globe came to be. Not all the Greeks thought it was a globe.
Yeah, it was very unpopular.
I'm wondering what Sob's playing with. It looks like he's playing like a hologram of some sort. You're muted, Sob. Muted.
What? What's up?
I ordered this from Amazon. It's a crystal ball, and it has Metatron's cube in it, which is all the platonic solids put together. I guess they use that in Kabbalah or something like that, but it's a really cool hologram, and it came with this lighted stand.
I thought it was
Yeah, and so it's like really cool.
That is cool.
It changes colors.
Cool.
It was only $30. I was like, oh yeah, man.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Perfect too, because I just got a new curio cabinet.
November.
Remember what?
There's a lot we could go through here, but
Have you heard?
Yeah, I found that thing I was talking about.
Um,
You see it?
November says Flats. Have you ever heard of the Clip Genie software that allows you to pull up clips from anywhere in your content library on demand?
oh no, that would be awesome. Where can I find that though? Because that would be great. Then I can search specific words and probably pick it up.
It's called Clip Genie. Clip Genie, I guess.
Yeah, Clip
Oh,
Genie.
no.
I just want to say thank you, Roger Ladle, for another $2, which says getting a radiator for the phone. He needs one. He gets his phone overheats for some odd reason. You rock, Roger. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Let's see. Have you heard of Clip Genie? Okay. Clip Genie software.
Check out Grand Theft World.
Grand Theft.
I will look it up for sure. Clip Genie. Clip. How to use Genie clips. Clip Genie. Just brings up a different type of thing. It doesn't bring up what we're looking for. Oh, I'm typing it wrong. Clip Genie.
Yeah, no, Clip Genie, I literally searched it up, Clip Genie software, nothing comes up.
Yeah, instant AI clip generation. Opus Pro.
Someone called Grand Theft World has a video on it.
Okay. Someone called Grand Theft World has videos in it.
And Roger is backstage.
Sorry, I'm like on different. See, why I need to get another screen, guys, because I'm like on the same
you'll love
screen.
it.
I have to go through to different windows, and I can't see everything happening.
You'll love it, man. I'll tell you what. I don't know. I wish I had a third one. To tell you the truth, but once you get working with two, you'll hate going back to one. You really will. It's so cool. You can drag shit from one screen and then just put it over on the other screen instead.
Mm.
Nice.
Okay, I've got what I was looking for. What Joe was talking about.
Into the Break wanted me to say Jaren is a weak man.
Jaren's what?
A weak man.
Miss Mod, say and Jevon is a weak man. Why?
No,
I like Jaren, guys. I think he's doing a good thing. It's just when it comes to the Christianity stuff.
Why did he want you to say that?
I have no
I
idea.
think a lot of people have been talking lots about him, and I don't think a lot of it's true. But like I usually judge a person by the way they act, and he hasn't been acting funny like everybody else. I mean, he's been quieter because he's got a family now. He had a kid recently, last couple of years. He's been through a lot. And that's a lot. That takes a toll on you when you have kids, and then you rethink your life, and sometimes it kind of slows you down a little bit. But I think he handled it well. Like you think about it, Witsett did the same thing, right? He had a child recently and got married and stuff, so that does change a person.
They got another one coming too. But I talked to Jaren. Jaren's he gives me no cause for reflex.
He's a nice guy.
He is. I mean, it's you got to understand this thing too, man. We are just men and women, okay? And we come from all different walks of life because we've all realized the true condition of our earth and we can see through the lies. Yeah, that's changed us a bit, but we're still individuals, man, and we still are all on our own journey, and you got to just respect that. You just got to respect that,
Yeah, we're all full of flaws, that's for sure.
Absolutely, man.
Far from it.
Let's see, this is a whole bunch of different things by John Klestrom. A human being is a great thing. A man is merciful, will be honored, behold a great mercy. The merciful man of God, like himself, for he hath been merciful. Even your Father which is in heaven is merciful, should have done. Death come, and your riches abide. From the commentary by the same epistle to the In all wisdom and prudence, he says, having made known to us the mystery of his will, as if one should say, he made known to us things in his heart for the mystery that is full of wisdom and prudence. For seekest thou that is greater in the wisdom for nothing of worth? Even those he found out, he might lead them to great riches, which they can compare with the innovative skill. He was an enemy, and he was hated. For very man is suddenly been raised high, and not only so, but his particular time he was done with wisdom also, and that is done by the cross. It would require a long discussion to show what a matter of wisdom this was, and how his made us what. And it says again, according to his good pleasure, he says, which is proposed in him. That is, he longed for this. He was in throes, one may say so. So bring forth a mystery, and that nature is, that he will set a man on high, and his desires of the view is dispensation of the fullness of time and sum of all things Christ, things in heaven and things upon the earth. From the commentary of the same on the Epistle of Hebrews, in the chapter where it was said, now these things which are saying to the chief of the point in this, where those who say the heaven is in motion, where are those who think it to be spherical? For both these opinions here swept away. For the same commentary by the same chapter in which, whereas he is the mediator of the new covenant. That's just one piece, guys. There's so many different statements from different authors and things. Medieval guys saying flat earth.
I didn't hear one that said, thou shalt not look in the flat earth at all.
No, these guys are saying against the sphere. These are specifically saying against the sphere, not against the flat earth.
So it's the other way around, huh?
Ah. Weird. Christian Topography, 1897 page. Sacred Text, Earth Mysteries, Index Previous. But it's quite cool. If you guys have time to actually read it through, it will be a good read, I would say.
You should send that link to Aiden.
Oh, Aiden ignores me, guys. He's still ignoring me on Twitter as well. Running away from me there. He's keep on saying to everybody, oh, nobody wants to debate me. Everybody's scared of me. Blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I comment, yeah.
He showed up in my chat. He showed up in my chat, and I said, click the link, man. Come on up. And he's like, no, he wouldn't come up. He just wanted to snipe in the chat.
Yeah, and as soon as I comment to him, I'm like, well, you still haven't debated me. I'm still waiting for, a one-on-one that you said you would have with biblical cosmology. And he either ignores me or he just, makes excuses and runs. Straight after he says nobody wants to debate him. So,
I'm sure he's welcome here all the time, dude.
Uh-huh.
Well, look what old Sean Hawkins did with me.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have to make the internet turn?
Dude, you finally scared him off of FE totally.
Yeah, I think so, man. He went off of he backed out of it right in the chat. He said, well, I emailed Jaron, and him and Jaron have been talking on Telegram anyway. He says, yeah, just get a hold of me on that. That's what I do. He says, because I don't check my email all the time. That's the best way. So they had this thing all set up through there. And then at the last minute, I'm sitting down getting ready. I'm turning everything on. I look in the chat, and there's Sean going, it's been canceled. I told Jaron already. And then Jaron comes on and goes, you did what? When? Who? So he had the nerve to call Jaron a coward because of, I'm like, what?
But that's Sean for you, though.
Yeah, we obviously know what we're dealing with, right? It's mentally ill people, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, let's carry on with this.
An unbroken succession from the Greeks, in fact, taught by the Venerable Bede to the young monks of Jarrow Abbey in AD 710, and encapsulated in John of the Holy Wood's Latin textbook, De Sphera Mundi, on the sphere of the earth, of around 1240. But what about that old story about how the church persecuted Christopher Columbus for saying the earth was round? Well, remember, We just discovered that the spherical Earth was being taught to university students in Salamanca in the medieval period. And the legend goes that it was a council at Salamanca that condemned Mr. Columbus for his round Earth beliefs. So how could that be? Well, it didn't happen. What the church disputed with Columbus was the size of the globe, not the shape. The Greek mathematician Eratosthenes had already calculated the circumference of the Earth in his famous Egyptian
calculated. Nice. So not measured.
Yep.
I didn't hear measured.
He just admitted. So it's calculated, not measured. So the globe is calculated, guys. Therefore, does that mean it's a globe?
No.
There's math for a fourth dimensional cube, but I can't use it. So I don't know. It's essentially the same thing, right?
No, but that math for the fourth dimensional cube makes the Earth the fourth dimensional cube, man. Come on. Don't you understand? Yeah. It's calculated.
That's their logic, though. Yeah, that's their line of reasoning.
But math!
Math doesn't lie!
Yeah. Well, it's like I've used this one before. I say, okay, so let's do some of this math. I have 2 leprechauns, and both of them are riding unicorns, and they happen across 3 fairies while they're in the forest. How many creatures are there altogether?
6.
No, there's none, because none of those things exist. So shit on it all. Okay.
Exactly.
There's no leprechauns, there's no fairies, and there are, but not, like mythical fairies, okay?
That's the person we reacted to last night.
Yeah.
What's it? Yeah.
Experiment back in 240 BC. He noticed that when he looked down a well in the city of Cyrene at 12 noon on the summer solstice, his head completely blocked the reflection of the sun. That meant that the sun was directly overhead.
I just want to say right quick, guys, I got to go to work. There's no scripture yet. I'll be listening. I'm waiting for the scripture, so it's never coming.
Roger,
yes.
Next time you go out there to check and see about that church, I mean, if you're not comfortable with it, don't. But I was thinking it might not be a bad idea to kind of like maybe knock on a couple doors of the neighbors around that church and ask them, how often is this church in business? I mean, I was trying to go to church and I never see it open. Just like you're just casually interested and see what you can find out about from people that live near it.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll do that. I was thinking about going today, but I had to work. So maybe next week, if I get a chance, I'll head that way and go knock on some doors. And hey, why is nobody at this church? Yeah, why is nobody here?
We didn't know what's going on. I was invited to a church service, and nothing's going on.
Yeah.
I get you. Well, I gotta go, guys.
Church? Okay, cheers, Roger.
Okay, I'll let you go. I'll get on it. All right. Appreciate you too, man. All right, later.
Yeah, you could just knock on the door and say, well, I was interested in coming to this church, and I just don't know, is this the right church? Because I don't see it open. No one's here.
Right? What's going on?
Stick in the ground at noon on the summer solstice in Alexandria, about 5,000 stadia to the north. His stick now cast a shadow because the sun was to the south and not directly overhead. And the angle of the shadow was 7 degrees 12 minutes, which is 1/50th of a circle. So he multiplied 5,000 stadia by 50 and came up with a remarkably accurate number.
A remarkably accurate number that had to get changed multiple times.
Exactly. That's why I laugh about it. How many times has even the distance to the sun changed?
Oh, Christ. It started out at 3 million miles with good old Copernicus, and then worked its way up all the way to 100. Well, Newton, he calculated it at 26, I think. 26 million, and then he ended up at 58 million. And he said, he was quoted as saying, whether it be one or the other, it doesn't matter. It suits our purpose. Very scientific thing to say. And then it went up to this one guy that got it up to 105 million, and then it dropped back to the average 93 to 92 million. So it's I think I've got a thing of it. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, there we go. Got on stream.
You got it?
Yeah, let me quickly show you guys. There we go.
Oh,
Aristarchus, 3rd century. Remember, this is in astronomical units, so
Oh yeah, here we go.
someone's got a lot of noise happening.
That's me playing. That's me adjusting my camera, dude. Sorry. That's the mic.
You're playing with your what?
But look at the Earth radius change between this, guys. 256.5 to 477.8. Next is Archimedes, 3rd century, 10,000. It changes constantly. Oh, you got it written there as well. Yeah, there we go.
Now, of course, Tycho and
That's
Kepler are
what I'm
going to have the same amount because I think Kepler killed Tycho and took all his work. But you see, yeah, there, Newton at 28 million, and then he went to 54 million. And then Martin in 1754 had 81, 82 million. What's a million, you know? Then by 1869, we're up to 95 million. They keep having to change it to fit their stupid shit, see?
And they were changing it because of the parallelness thing, right?
Could you imagine accounting errors that poorly in some kind of a accounting firm or something? You know, I mean, math doesn't lie, but if your books were off by, only $100 million, you know, give or take a few million, whatever. I mean, that's just some really inaccurate shit, you know? And then they act like it's like, oh, it's no small task to measure the distance of the sun. All you got to do is have 2 observers, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, here you go.
Some difference, isn't there? 3 million to 93 million. Wow.
yeah.
Only 90 million difference. I mean, it's only 93. It's only 90 million difference. I mean, what's that between people about? You know what I mean?
It's never a big deal. Don't worry about that. No big deal.
I find it really, ironic that they say it's so accurate and yet they keep changing it.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that was
how
the
much for
point.
this car? How much for this car? Oh, anywhere between $3,000 and 20 million. You know, somewhere in there.
Yeah, do you want air conditioning? Do you want?
It
you want
depends
ABS?
on how you look at it.
It depends on how you look at
favorite friend Luca.
Hey,
Hello.
Luca.
Hello.
Oh Lord.
it. Oh, Lord.
Well, it's simple, Luca. The reason we're saying it's false is because it's always calculated, and all the calculations keep changing when they find it not to suit what their previous calculations worked out to be. So
Yeah,
therefore, you can immediately assume you might be on the wrong track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, according to this video, the whole point was that we always knew that it was flat. So then why was it constant? I mean, we always knew that it was round. Why is it constantly changing then, Luca, if it was just all so perfect from the beginning?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Like I said, it is it that big of a difference?
What? 3 million?
100 million miles, not as big of a difference.
Just 90 million compared 3 million compared to 93 million. I think there's a one or two miles miscounted there.
Well, think of it this way: is there a big difference between 3 and 93? I don't think so.
That's there's 90 difference, but between 3 million and 93 million, there's 90
Well,
million difference.
that's only
That's bigger
90
than 90.
million.
In a cosmic scale where you need everything to just apparently line up perfectly, it's kind of weird that you guys are just changing everything.
Like, space is like infinitely big, though. So
Mhm.
is it that big
That
of a
doesn't
number?
change the
Infinitely
fact that
big,
it's
or it's
inaccurate. Okay?
just like that. Huh?
It just doesn't change the fact that it's inaccurate.
Because I
If your
could be
globe
wrong,
was
but
so perfect, you wouldn't need to keep changing the distances and radiuses.
I mean, it was the first
Unless you were wrong.
attempt.
the first attempt, that the whole point is that the first attempt was low, was what it was lower, and then they went higher, and
That's
then
right.
higher, and then lower, and then lower. If
And
it kept
higher
on
again.
going, I would have.
Luca, think about this. What if you set your GPS for a destination and it was 90 miles off? Would that be acceptable? If your GPS was off by 90 miles by the time you got to the end of your trip, would you consider that a margin of error that was really
Yeah.
okay? There you go.
So on a bigger scale, where you need, again, like I said, you need things to line up. You can't just switch the numbers that you want to work and other ones that you don't. This is because
Yeah,
why did it work for that time span, that time period, but now apparently with the new science of the globe, we need new science. We need new calculations.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's what
Well,
happens when you use
the Earth-
assumed values in your calculations.
Well,
Especially when you're building a formula back from the predisposed answer that you had. So what they do is they come to an idea and then make a formula to fit it. What works? Okay, well, we just adjust this to where it works, and there it is. There's the math. It's not like they take the factors involved and then turn it into a solution. They take their predisposed solution and turn it into a formula.
I should have mentioned that the Earth has an elliptical orbit in my video as well. That
Yeah,
that
that's the problem.
also
Still doesn't
could
make a
explain
change, though.
why.
Oh.
That
Because they have
also
to
could
change the
explain why
radius
they
as well
won.
as the distance. Every
Yeah.
time they change the distance, it changes the radius value. Every time they change the radius value, it changes the distance value.
Because that also could explain why the distances could change. Because
No,
you know,
it
Not by
shows that
90 million.
shows that the globe is just calculated and not measured. It shows it's just a belief system, and every time something shows wrong, you still need to keep it. So you do what they call the God of the gaps argument. Let's just fix what we think will keep our belief system instead of just saying, "Hang on, maybe our belief system is wrong." But anyway, thank you, Roger Little, for your $2 super chat. He says, I want a demo of X-rays traveling 93 million miles. You'll never get that, unfortunately, man. But Roger, you rock. Thank you very, very much for the super chat. But yeah, it's simple. If I find it very hypocritical of the Globers. Oh, look at this. It's shown your calculation is wrong. Okay? So that means you guys, everything's just wrong. It's not flat Earth. It's just this because your calculation was wrong. But look how much times the calculations have changed through hundreds of years on the globe. Okay?
I mean,
And
that's
when did they ever say, okay, yeah, maybe what we believe is wrong because it keeps changing?
That's why you've been saying calculation and not measurement, because they couldn't measure it, right? It's a calculation.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
this was
why
the point of
listen, this is why the maps are all fucked up. Okay? Because they're a conglomeration of you can have physically measured statute miles, but how do you measure distances across vast distances of ocean? It's done by observation and time, especially in the south where you have no central point like Polaris, right? So once you're past the equator, you no longer have Polaris. You have new constellations. They're continuously moving, and you have to be keeping accurate time. It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem. So those are calculated distances mixed in with statute distances that are physically measured.
Yeah,
So
and
right,
not to
all of that.
mention, using two straight lines. The globe doesn't have straight adjacents, so therefore you can't really claim a angle measurement that he needs.
What do you mean the globe doesn't have straight adjacents?
Your adjacent is a curved line always on the globe.
Yep. Always.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So not an angle.
In fact, he actually came within 100 miles of the actual circumference of the Earth. The problem that Columbus faced had nothing to do with the flat Earth. His problem was that he was using a different measurement. We think it was one that was calculated by Ptolemy.
We think it was one. As soon as you say you think it was one, you don't really know what the story was, then I don't think you should use it as an argument to make a claim that you know what is going on. Agreed?
Is that the mega chip that took out your head, Ryan? Oh, it's bigger ones.
Oh, it's an electronics kit.
Oh,
it's an Elegoo Uno R3. It's like one of those little computer things that you can use to like do different things. You can make remote controls and whatever out of it. I haven't used it yet, but I bought one. I was just thinking about getting it out and playing with it.
Got you.
You can build your own circuit boards and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Nice, nice.
But did you see what he just said though? We think he used calculations based on Ptolemy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In other words, yeah,
Go
so in
ahead.
other words, they're not even sure about the whole story of what actually happened.
What if?
I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure what to call this. I would call it, I guess, I don't know, it's like sprinkling salt inside of your sentences where you say think, would, I mean, it's essentially what, we see in anything that isn't meant to be concrete. They put these little words that it's just kind of people don't really catch, right? But if you're arguing it, of course you're going to catch it.
Yeah. We'll do a
Okay,
Jordan
well-
Peter. We'll do a Jordan Peterson. Yeah. What do you mean with what? What do you mean with when?
What if that think of it like you have let's say you have two pieces of evidence. One suggests that this is true, and one suggests that this is true. You know, since you'll never be, since you'll never be able to know for sure which one of those is actually the truth, you could use one of those. You could say that one of these is the truth, since you'll never know which one is the truth. So you think that
The
this one might be true.
point
You talk
Yeah.
against cat sort of thing.
is that
Well,
if it's oh wait, oh my, I was lagging.
Yeah, you were a little bit.
I forgot. I didn't hear what he said. I'm just gonna let him speak.
okay.
But yeah,
Well-
you're saying that that times over ideas over time change, right? That you can't know fully what's the truth, so you have to take one over the other. Or
Well,
what is your? Because I didn't fully hear you. What is your point about this?
If you have evidence for one thing being true, but also evidence for another thing being true, but since time has gone so much, you'll never be able to know which one of those is true.
Yeah,
then,
but the argument
think-
here, the argument we're making here is that they say that they think it's the idea, it's what's being presented by someone that might not have been even because it says they think it was. We're not saying that like what was presented didn't exist, but by this person. I forgot what was his again. What was his name? But it was this guy.
What did we turn guy talking about?
Well, because what he was talking about, because it would
Columbus.
Well, after Columbus, yeah.
Well, he's talking about Columbus now, but he was talking about Aristophanes before him.
Oh, yeah, no. I was thinking of no.
But he was also talking about Ptolemy. He's assuming Columbus uses Ptolemy's math.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So essentially, why are we the argument is that it's just we don't know fully if this is really what Columbus took it from, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Something like that, yeah. So that's why I said I think. He doesn't say no. He says think, which is an honest answer.
Yeah.
You know,
But that's what I was saying is that it's plausible deniability. That even if this comes out later to be false, that you could say, well, we thought it was, we didn't for sure say it was. So
well, yeah, you know
Good
that's
point, Jeff. Good point, Jeff Gashead. Navy still
Mhm.
uses AWACS planes. It's not needed if there's satellites, right?
Nope. Well, like I was saying, when me and my wife were going yesterday, when we were going to watch the rally, and my one friend, he pinned us his location because he wanted to go to a certain place. It took us 25 minutes away from where he was, and we kept losing reception. That this sat nav wouldn't tell us where to go. Now, explain to me how satellites are supposed to be telling me where to go in the bush, and we can't get reception from damn satellites.
You know,
Because it's coming from ground towers, and when the weather gets bad, then you don't even get that.
triangulation in cell towers, yeah, and why do we lose it? Connection in the mountains, yeah. This is one of the
That's-
biggest arguments.
That's why I laugh. This is why I laugh at
Federation.
garbage whenever they tell me, "Oh, yeah, satellites are real." I'm like, well, you obviously never lived in the bush before.
Yeah.
Getting muted again, Dave. Roger Ledwell, thank you for $2 super chat. Says, read a book. Luca, read a book by the title "A Just So Story." Yep, it'll be a good read. Man.
That shit's
a
for real
just
too, man.
so
Because
story.
here's the thing. It's word association. When I say the word satellite, what do you think? You think of
Tin
a
can
fucking little
floating in
garbage
space.
can. Yeah, thing in space, right? But that's a later term for a word that actually means a node to a central station. Okay? A satellite. Okay? We had satellite states of the USSR. Okay? Those were known as satellite states. Why? Because they were nodes of a central hub. So those things on those towers, those are satellites. A AWACS plane is a satellite. Okay? It doesn't mean that it's something out in space. Even if it
I
shows you a
just
little cartoon of one when you're looking at your phone or your GPS, that's just a little thing that's on there telling you you're hooking up to your GPS. That thing is still just,
Advertising,
yeah,
Sovereign.
it doesn't mean there's a
marketing,
thing
yeah.
in space. Now, I want you to think of this from a cost-effective standpoint. What would be cheaper for me to do and easier? To broadcast my signal from a central location and pass it out to nodes that would feed it into homes around the plane, right? Or would it be beneficial for me to try to beam that signal up to a satellite that's floating way up in space, hundreds and hundreds of miles from me, and get it to bounce back down, only to hit that main transmitter to hit all the rest of the towers? What the fuck? Would bypass the shooting it into space. There's no need to do that. So even just from a cost-effective standpoint, boom, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's no? Well, I just think of a satellite as a term that means orbits the Earth.
Well,
That's what
that's
a
not what it
satellite
means.
is.
Guess what? That's not what it means. The original definition of the word satellite had nothing to do with space.
What did the original definition
What
of
did I just
satellite
tell
mean?
you it was?
we'll do what it was,
The
dude.
node to
Like
a
a
central
node, right?
station, a central point. For instance, Walmart Corporation is headquartered in Arkansas, right? But they have satellite distribution centers around the country and satellite stores. They have a corporate office that's in, say, Michigan. They have a corporate office that is in these other states. Those are satellite corporate government entities, right? And they're known as their satellite or sister stores. That's all it's ever meant. And then they coined it onto this thing and kept using it repeatedly. They did it with the word terrorist, right? Every time they said something about terrorist or terrorism, they showed you a picture of Islam or somebody in the Middle East. Then all they have to do is just show you a picture of somebody in the Middle East, and the first word that comes to your mind is terrorist. They programmed you. And they did the same thing with satellites. It's real simple. It's part of the programming that they use, man. You can break yourself free from it. Recognize it.
It's the same way you teach children to learn words. You know, when they say, okay, this is a B for a bed. This is a D for dog. So as soon as you're going to see a dog, you can understand it's a D. You understand? That's exactly how you've programmed to think satellites in space, because you see the picture as a floating tin can in space.
Yep.
Ryan building a time machine, man. Flying DeLorean. Building a flying DeLorean.
I think I've seen him. I think he had a flux
He's fixing the ion capacitor. Come on.
Was that a flux capacitor I saw sticking out of that box there? Turn it into Doc Brown over there.
I know.
I could build you a big one. I could build you a little board that lights up like that if you want me to. All you got to do is tell me what number you want to pop up on the screen. You got these little things like this.
You should build a board that lights up and beeps every time a Glober brings up a malicious argument.
Oh, I wouldn't have enough. I wouldn't have enough numbers to digits for that. I think we'd have to probably square and cube it or something. These are just breadboards, is what they call them.
You can build a time machine that does 8 miles an hour. You know,
it's so you can test different circuits and things. It's how you learn all about electronics.
Or you can bring one that comes up every time a Glober contradicts himself. It lights up and beeps.
I could. I mean, I don't know how I would get the computer to understand when somebody speaks certain words, but I guess I'll figure it out, right? I'll get an algorithm off the internet, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I think that's what we're going to do tonight, though. Definitely not a long show tonight. Sorry about that.
It's all right, man.
But
yeah, it was a good one.
It's interesting. I think we got the gist of what the guy's bringing up, and when I was looking through, I see he brings up Timothy and stuff, but it's just about how you should conduct yourself, you know, as a Christian and whatever. But he doesn't bring up actual scripture to show that the Bible doesn't show a flat earth. His whole argument at the end of the day was, I have these people in the medieval times that don't believe it was a flat earth, so therefore no one believed it was a flat earth, which is nonsense. I mean, even people today, their whole lives, actually from small, said, yeah, I was a flat earther, you know. My parents taught me flat, even today. So it's really idiotic to say no one thought it was flat there.
Well, how many times I know you've heard this. You guys have all had to have heard this. When you say something, they say, "Oh, well, you still think the Earth is flat?" Now, what does that mean? That can only have two meanings, right? You still believe the Earth is flat. This either means that this person thinks that I somehow teleported here from the 12th century, or that they once thought the Earth was flat too, but was convinced that it was a globe, which I think it is. I think that that's very telling. I don't even think they know what they're saying.
It's true
when they say that, but I hear that very often.
Even even regular people, like, they're not part of the flat and globe Earth debate, but even they can provide evidence for the globe unintentionally.
Like
what?
Doing
have you heard of Jet Lag, the series on YouTube?
Jet lag doesn't mean a globe.
Jet lag, come on.
The series.
Do you understand how strain on your body works?
No, the series on YouTube.
But I'm just saying jet lag.
Yeah, the game.
Okay, I know.
So they did one series they did is circumnavigating the globe in 100 days or something like that.
Yeah, which can be done on a flat earth too.
But the way they did it, the way they traveled across the globe is not.
No, they traveled across the earth, not the globe.
Like the way they did it, like.
And when we travel the globe,
and how would they travel across the earth as a globe different than the flat earth, Luca?
They arrived at the same location that they left from.
Okay, let's say you are in a you got a backyard, and you walked from one starting point of the backyard right around the house back to the starting point where you started. Is that backyard a globe?
What? What? You walk around the house? But
Yeah,
that's
you walked around the perimeter of your house.
You walked a circuit.
Started at a point, and you walked around your house and came back to where you started. Or is it a globe now?
you just walked around. No.
Well, there you
Flat.
go.
A circumnavigated flat.
That's not really the same thing.
It's exactly that thing, Luca.
It's not the same though,
It's exactly
Yes,
that.
it is exactly the same.
because you did a circle. You didn't go in a straight line or something.
How do you go in a straight line in the globe?
You just go in one direction without turning.
Still not a straight line. A to B is never straight on a globe, dude.
Okay, let's put it this way for you, Luca. Let's say there's 100-hectare farm, and they're just saying, just go in this direction, follow the fence. So you go in that
Okay.
direction, just following the fence, and you end up back where you started.
I just realized I was muted.
Yeah, you were.
Thank you for the
And that
person in
fence
chat.
took a very minimal turn. That it looked straight, but it was actually turning very minimal left. Eventually ended up back where you were.
I mean, well, yeah.
Flat then.
Well, if the way
Oh, I was gonna say,
in
Luca,
this
you actually,
scenario,
you actually think they just went in a straight line? They didn't take stops. You think they just went straight line, right?
that they went via planes, so obviously they didn't go in a straight.
We're talking
line
about the
exactly.
circumnavigation of like Magellan and Columbus. No, why are you talking about planes?
No, he's
Because
bringing up
that's the
bringing jet lag up. Place.
yeah, that's the thing they used to get
Okay, and what
around.
was their path, Luca?
I could look it up, but
You'll see
You
that
want
they
me to
took
read
stops.
Or,
When you search it up, you'll see that they took stops.
yes, they did take stops. Yeah.
And
Okay.
when they get to Antarctica, they take a hard left.
Well, they didn't really go to Antarctica.
Then they can't.
They
Then
went
you can't
to-
have a globe. Sorry.
they went to
circumnavigated
Murdoch
left
Station
to
or
right
whatever,
or
and they
whatever.
did it. They
didn't
walked up
navigate
to
north
the,
or south.
the supposed electromagnetic pole, and then they walked around it, and then they went back the way they came. They did not keep going straight in a line and go all the way around it. They always do the same thing. They go up and they touch the pole, and they turn around and come back, and then they say, "Oh, I circumnavigated the Earth." Bullshit.
Exactly, dude. And besides,
Anyway, guys,
Luke,
I want to
you're
say
one leg shorter than the other anyway, so if you walked for a long time, you'd be walking in circles, wouldn't you?
You should check out that series. It's a good one.
Okay. Well, anyway, thanks, guys, for coming. I really appreciate you all. I'll see you all tomorrow night then for another awesome stream. I think tomorrow night we'll be doing the Planet Peterson one.
Cool.
So make sure you do have your chill pulls in because it's going to be quite triggering on
And
some
don't
of the
forget to
stuff.
like the show, please.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks for coming, Luca. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thank you for the super chats, hitting the likes, sharing the show. Oh, and another super chat from Roger Ledwell. He says, and they use the compass for their heading.
Uh-oh.
And the compass uses what? North.
Yep.
Magnetic.
Exactly. So thanks for coming, guys.
I've got a morning
It's all about
Don't forget you need
and
something.
interesting.
localization and
Yeah,
perspective,
and
really.
yeah. And Banjo's got a live stream coming on, guys, that you guys want to make you go watch. It's about the final experiment
Mm-hmm.
and the correlations between people on how they all want to do the same thing, apparently, for some odd reason on the same time. And PJ, you got a show?
Yeah, I got morning coffee one. Morning coffee. 8 a.m. GMT. I was almost ready to say 8 p.m. GMT again for the morning. But yeah. What is it on again? God wants me to be an unbeliever. Pastor reacts, sort of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I think. What's his name? What's his name? He used to do big breakfast in with the long hair, babe. Dave.
Not a clue.
Him.
Jamiroquai.
No, I mean, he used to talk about.
The guy with the nose.
Yeah, he's like. He's long. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I know his blooming name.
Damn long hair.
He didn't get me to the Greek as well.
He's that guy that's got the 2 ears.
No, not
Yeah,
John.
I think you were reacting to God Logic, right? I'm pretty sure.
That was last time.
Logic's awesome.
That's last time. But it's a celebrity anyway that's saying it. I can't remember his blooming name. Doesn't matter. But anyway, it's that's what it's about anyway. That's what it's about.
Yeah. And Dave, you gonna have a show?
Not tonight. I'll have one tomorrow night. I've uploaded a video today. It's a restream of my son's show last night, doing a deep dive into associations of Will Duffy and some of the dirt we found there. It's kind of interesting. It should open up some eyes. So check it out. I put the link in the chat.
You're not. Are you saying? Sorry. If Absolute was saying he's blocked from my panel.
No, he's not. He's not blocked, Joe. Just saying bye. He's really left.
Oh.
We're now putting him back in again. He wants to start a discussion again. We're trying to say cheers.
Oh, I thought you were saying you blocked from my panel. I was going to say I haven't blocked him.
Okay.
No, me too, Vicky.
Anyway, yeah. Thanks, guys, again for coming. I'll see you again all tomorrow night. I already got to go now.